everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Savannah and we are back in another speed build today in Planet Zoo. And I know it's been a long time, it's been a while. I've been a little bit behind on everything with life getting in the way, but also I decided to start a couple different Let's Play series, so those took up some time. And then if you follow me on my other social platforms, you'll know that I had a work injury recently, and so I've been taking my time and recovering with that. But I'm so excited to be back recording this for you guys. I actually finished building this quite a while ago, and I'm just now getting around to doing the voiceover for you. So this is going to be the entrance plaza to the Australian zoo that we have going on. So we've already done the koala habitat, we did a kangaroo and ostrich habitat, and then I have already started a habitat for the dingoes. And if you haven't seen that already, I did post a little bit of a sneak peek on my social media platforms and my Discord as well. But this is going to be the entrance area, like I said, and it just consists of 4 different information booths, which you saw just in there, and an implied habitat. I actually decided to add an implied habitat for what I think would be the kookaburra, because I think that they are really awesome animals, and if you've ever heard them laugh or make their calls, they're really, really cool animals, and I suggest Googling what they sound like, because they're really loud, but they really sound cool. And I just think that they would be a really awesome animal to add. I know you've heard content creator after content creator say that we want birds and we want marine life, and I'm no different. I want those things as well, but I thought kookaburra is one of the animals that I love seeing when I go to the zoo. So it is a fairly short and simple build. Right now I'm going through and doing some little like ticket stands. You know, I imagine a staff member would be standing there to scan your ticket, and then you kind of go through the turnstile. I really tried to work on kind of a small zoo, but still, you know, fairly modern with all those new Australian pieces that we got, because those wood wall pieces are my favorite thing in the whole world, as well as the rusted pieces, but they just kind of go with the aesthetic that I was going for with this. So I hope you guys enjoy that. This is the first video that you'll see. I actually do move on and do a parking lot, a very small parking lot, and to be honest, looking at it, you know, the amount of people that are there, it would have been filled up a long time ago, but you know, I just wanted to try my hand rather at building a little bit of a parking lot area. I'm not going to do too much, to be honest, because I don't find it very entertaining to myself to imagine what would be outside of a zoo. But I thought it fit really well in this little area, and then I had to get a little creative of where I wanted the guests to spawn, so I actually make them spawn and come out of the bathroom, so everybody goes to the bathroom before they enter this zoo, and that way I could hide the spawning platforms. Here on the entrance, you can see that I did add some wheelchair accessible, handy capable entrance areas for people to enter the zoo that can't go through the turnstiles. And I also add the exit over to the left-hand side later on, trying to keep realism in mind as much as I possibly can, and so making sure that anybody and everybody would be able to comfortably enter and get around in the zoo. I do need to, if I am going to keep with that motif going on and that theme throughout the zoo, I need to revisit the ostrich and kangaroo habitat, because right now that one is only accessible by stairs. But I just started to keep this in mind with this build, so I might have to go back and look at that. You can see here I kind of move on to deleting all of that stuff, getting it out of the way. It was at this point I kind of decided that I wanted to tilt the entrance a little bit, and I wanted them to come over from the right hand side instead of coming straight in from off the map. So then I use these little log pieces that are also from the Australian pack to, I don't even know what those are called. They're basically so cars don't drive into where people are walking or into buildings. Do they have a name? If they have a name and you know what they're called, let me know, because I'm curious now. I'm just calling them pillars, which could definitely be the name, but I don't know. If there's an official name, that would be interesting to know. But then just kind of decorating this area with some very small cues. You can see that I did actually leave a gap in the path. So those are 2 different paths. So although the guests, when they line up, they still do kind of crowd and clip through the fence just a little bit. They're not like flat out walking through it because they are two different paths. So it kind of helps to get them corralled in the certain locations and make it look like they actually know what they're doing. And you can see there I also hid some trash cans under the turnstile area to try to coerce the guests into walking in a certain direction. It kind of works, kind of doesn't, but you know, you get the idea. When I first saw the Australian pack, I saw these framed pieces and I absolutely love the color and pattern on them, but I couldn't quite figure out where I was going to fit them best. And it wasn't until I kind of sunk them in and sunk them down so that only one side was showing that I really found I like the pattern and they look really nice. So you can see here just trying to finish out an awning piece. I wanted to use those curved pieces because they're very unique and very different, but I couldn't quite get it to work, and then it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't look right to me. It didn't look very clean and like the modern that we're going for with all the square and the sharp edges and stuff like that. So I do settle with just the plain corrugated roof piece. And then, of course, because I'm trying to push myself with creativity and realism, using more art shapes and things, I make myself a really quick, very quick ticket sign here. So imagine this would be where you would walk up and it would tell you what the prices are for adults and children, and maybe the annual passes or season passes, whatever you want to call them. That's what would go on this board here. I know there are some creators that made some super tiny fonts, and I would be able to actually type some stuff out if I wanted to use them, but I didn't feel like being that tedious, that meticulous, and I felt these signs kind of got my point across without going too high in the piece count there, because this zoo, if you do remember, has our koala habitat, which the shade structure for that was inspired by the Sydney Opera House, and that one is over 4,000 pieces on its own. I can't even put it on the gallery because it is so many pieces. So that being said, we've kind of used our piece count for this zoo over there. And of course, because like I always say, I always hate everything I build. I think that it looks boring, it looks incomplete, it's not on the right track, whatever you want to say, until I add some trees. So that's why you'll see me oftentimes in a build, I'll take a pause and kind of add some foliage here and there, because the green and the I guess life of the plants really brings life to the build. And then I start to hate it less. And then once I'm all done and I put some trees in everywhere they're supposed to go and some landscaping, then I normally don't hate it at all. And that's why you guys get to see it, because it kind of brings the build all together in a complete form of bringing everything together, bringing it all to life. Here I'm taking the plaster pieces and lining the paths. I think I'm gonna start on the parking lot here next. I think the pause there is me contemplating how to go about that, how to lay it out. I'm not quite sure because, like I mentioned before, I did film this or build this a long time ago, and then because of everything I explained, I'm just really behind on being able to do the voiceover for you guys. So so that's why I don't quite remember what exactly I was thinking. I do think at this point I wasn't thinking about the entrance on the other side, over here to the left. I'm sorry, not the entrance, the exit. And I do repurpose some of the roundabout like turning doors, is that what they're called? You know, the metal things that you push through that can only go one way where you exit from. You'll see what I mean if you don't know what I mean already by my very undescriptive description. I repurposed those from Sakura Zoo. So I built those for the exit of Sakura Zoo and decided to kind of pop those over here, change a couple colors, and make it fit for the exit of this zoo. So you'll see that here in a minute, as soon as I'm done with whatever. Oh yeah, I realized that there was a gap over here, so to keep kids and things like that from kind of sneaking through, I guess. Not that, you know, the idea would be there would be a staff member there, so they wouldn't necessarily be able to sneak through, I guess, but just for sake of completion. Oh, the other thing that I do, which I'm going to start right now actually, is I remembered I put these in place as if they are kind of the closing gates. So the idea behind it would be when the zoo is completely closed, they would have to be able to close the gates and lock up for the night, basically. So that's what these are, is they're just barriers, just the steel barriers, habitat barriers, and I put them in the 3 different locations. And then what I'm doing here is making what I imagine to be where the gates would roll back into. So inside of there, the gate would kind of coil up, and then you could pull it out and it would meet the gate in the middle. And that way they could lock it up at night and it would be nice and secure. Nobody could get in or anything like that. So it's just those little details that I'm really trying to push myself to think about. So you can see I'm laying down a track here. The handles I couldn't quite figure out, as far as, you know, you'd have to kind of pull this out and then lock it to the center gate somehow. I wasn't quite sure what the right pieces for those would be. So I think I end up putting some brackets on them, but I don't quite remember. Another thing that I wanted to let you guys know about, which you may not be able to tell in this particular video, but I did do or get another upgrade to my setup recently I'm very excited about. So I have a mic arm. I have a Blue Compass mic arm with a shock mount for my microphone now, so it's no longer sitting on my desk, which means that it doesn't really make a difference right now for the voiceover, I don't think, but when I am doing the Let's Play series, hopefully there'll be a lot less clicking and keyboard noise and mouse noise for you guys, because my mic is now actually on the other side of my computer than it was. So it's on the left, I'm right-handed, my mouse is on the right. So hopefully that will improve some audio quality and make the video sound that much better. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you can tell the difference. Like I said, I don't think you're going to be able to, because I don't necessarily touch my desk all that much when I'm recording these voiceovers. I kind of just sit back in my chair and talk to you guys. But I don't know, you know, it's a different position, and maybe it does make a difference. Here you can see is the kookaburra habitat. So I actually split this up into 3 different aviaries because the aviary as a whole was actually rather big. So I kind of make this, it's not really an L shape, but there's a, what is that called? It's not a curve, a bend, I guess, in this, and making it 3 different habitats so they could have, you know, different kookaburras in each one, or different bird species in each one. They're not too detailed. I wanted to leave them pretty plain, just in case, you know, when I put this up on the Steam Workshop, you guys want to adapt it for something for your own builds. But I do go through and put kind of a staged backstage area behind here where the keepers would have to go to take care of the animals, and stuff like that. So I just wanted this entrance plaza to be kind of, you know, in most zoos, when you come in and see the very beginning of a zoo, there's like a gift shop and just some maybe smaller habitats and things like that is what I'm going for. So let me know if you have any ideas on what else I can add to the entrance plaza. Like I said, I already started work on a dingo habitat, but that is in another part of the zoo, and I'm not quite sure what else to add to this plaza area. I did leave it nice and open, that way I have the ability to add something. I just don't know what to add at this point. Here, just finicking with the roof and the barriers and all that kind of stuff, I end up changing it to the chain link barrier instead of the metal barrier. I think it just kind of goes along with the, not like, well, I guess, yeah, worn down, I guess, rusty feel that the front poles have with it. You know, that this would be, it's not a brand new installed enclosure. This enclosure would have been there right when they first put in the zoo entrance. And then the newer enclosures would be as you get further and further into the zoo. So you can see that I've already changed it there to the chain link, because that looks a little bit more well suited for the type of habitat that I'm going for. I don't think that there was anything else that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel, and until next time, I will see you guys soon. I will leave you with the rest of the speed build. There are some there are some cinematic shots. I don't know why that was so difficult to get out today. Cinematic shots at the very end, so I hope you enjoy watching those. And until next time, bye!
Sizowaka